Yo, what's going on, my beautiful people? How you doing tonight? Family politics in the building. What it do? Hey, look, check it out. So, my partner in crime, he'll be around in a minute because he out there being Mr. Hollywood right now. So he'll pop it or he won't. I don't know. I don't know what that man be doing. But he's out there being Mr. Hollywood. That's what I can say 1000% for sure. So, tonight we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different topics. Um, so you guys are probably wondering, well, what's Mr. Hollywood doing? He's doing a show tonight. He's over at the Comedy Chateau. So hopefully he decides to join thing. But I don't wait. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing because he's doing his thing. So one of the topics that we're going to be talking about tonight, and hopefully, if you're following me on Instagram, that's loyalty underscore unconditionally. Again, that's loyalty underscore unconditionally. One of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight is race and racism. Um, are we going too far in what we're doing right now here in America? Uh, so hopefully, some of you guys, our viewers, I got four of you guys on right now. What's going on to everybody that's joined me? Make sure you guys drop a comment in the link. I do respond back. So please make sure y'all do that for me tonight. That would be greatly appreciated. So one of the things we're going to be talking about tonight is racism. Like I said, racism in America, and have we gone too far? And of course, we're going to touch on BG because free BG all day, every day. So we've got to make sure we touch on that. And she is free for those of you guys who don't know. And then we're also going to touch on just some stuff that's going on right now, just period, in the world. Just everything that's going on. Yo, what's up, Ace One, Day One, Suwan in the building. How you doing tonight, Suwan? Thank you for joining tonight, sweetheart. Amy's in the building. How you doing tonight, Amy? Thank you for joining tonight. So like I said, there's just a couple of things that we're gonna, just touch on and go over. So just a little bit about what's been going on with me. Um, the last since last show last week, I just been chilling like a villain. I ain't been doing nothing but basically just enjoying my life and doing what I do. That's basically all I've been doing. I ain't done nothing. I ain't done nothing at all. But according to everybody else, I probably have. But again, like I said, if you go on to my Instagram page, again, that's loyalty underscore unconditionally. You'll see a whole bunch of different reels, and I have a poll up for next week's show. So please make sure you guys go on there, check that out, and see Mr. Hollywood, since he ain't even on right now. Mr. Hollywood's gonna be real jealous because as y'all see, I got the new gear, got the new hat. I got some electricity this week, y'all. I got electricity this week, so you guys can actually see the new hat. If you guys get some merchandise, please make sure you let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, shoot me a text, shoot me a phone call, shoot me an email, whatever it may be. Just let me know, and I got your back. Let me know so we can make sure we get this merchandise out there because I love my peoples out there. I love everybody that's supporting the show. It's much appreciated, very much appreciated. Um, so like I said, so this past week, if we're talking about politics, let's start with politics real quick. Because I know, if Mr. Hollywood was on right now, he'd be doing his self promotion. He'd be talking about all his YouTube and his Twitter followers, or not Twitter. He doesn't have Twitter. He has Snapchat. All his Snapchat followers and how he's like at like 5 million. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So we're not going to start there. We are definitely going to start on what's been going on in politics this week. So in politics this week, if you guys are familiar, um, Biden actually signed the Defense, I think it's called the Defense of Marriage Act. Don't quote me on that if that's not what it's called 1000%. Yo, V's in the building. What's going on, V? Thank you for joining tonight, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. And basically, what that was is, and how it even came about is a few months back, Clarence Thomas is a Supreme Court justice, and we're not going to get into his wife and everything that they're doing right now, but he's a Supreme Court justice, and he's an African American male, and he's married to a white woman, and he came out and said something to the effect of, we need to take a look at marriage, and this is after all the abortion stuff that came out. Jag T in the building. What's going on, Jag T? Thank you for joining tonight. I appreciate that, sweetie. I appreciate that. And I've been seeing your reels, girl. You handle your business. Handle your business. Anyways, so he's been talking about. So he was talking about. We need to take another look at one interracial marriage. Bro, seriously? Like, you're legit married to a white woman. So you're basically saying that you want us to take a look at interracial marriage, but you're okay. And then two, oh, it's respect. What is it? The respect for marriage. Thank you, Jag. I appreciate that. The Respect for Marriage Act. So he's like, we need to take a look at that. And then, of course, everybody's like, oh, if he's taking a look at that, they're taking a look at the gays. Or, you know what I'm saying? And I can say the gays. I can say the gays. Y'all can't say the gays unless you gay or lesbian or bisexual or binary or there's like a whole lot of words out there. And I'm still old school. So I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Anyways, so he said, that's basically what he said. So of course, because versus Wade basically got overturned, so everybody's like, oh, we need to hurry up and jump on this real quick. So you know, um, after the election, this past election, and everything got flipped. What ended up happening is they did the vote in the House. Senate already had it. Did the vote. It passed, and Biden actually signed it. I think it was yesterday. Dogma. We'll get into dogma in a second. I'll explain dogma in a second. That I'm very familiar with, in the Defense of Marriage Act dogma. Got it, Jack T. So basically, it was signed the other day, right? And that is actually super huge, especially for someone like me, African American. One, so now I can actually marry somebody that I want to get married again in life, which ain't gonna happen. But whatever. If I wanted to be in an interracial, excuse me, interracial relationship with somebody who was another race from me, which Caucasian, Hispanic, whatever. Now apparently I can go ahead and marry them. Also being, in the gay lifestyle, homosexual, lesbian, whatever you want to call it. Um, Now that's federally protected, which is huge, especially once the states start taking a look at that. It's going to be huge. Because all I heard was I got me a write off. Myself, that's how I'm looking at it. Everybody else is looking at, oh, love, love, forget love. I get a write off. What do you want? A write off or some love? But anyways, um, so the Defense of Marriage Act, because Jag T's over here educating me in the chat. The Defense of Marriage Act was basically back in '96 with Clinton, Bill Clinton, with his "I didn't do that" self. So basically, what it said was, that's when homosexuals couldn't serve in the military, but it was like that don't ask, don't tell. It was like it was that whole era. And then at that time, like a little bit after that, that's when Biden had came out and said that he had supported gay marriage or whatnot. And then around that same time, that's when Obama had decided to support it a little bit. But if you read his book, which I read his book, it's a good read. Make sure you guys read his book if you haven't already read his book. He basically said that he was trying to stay in the middle on it, but the one thing that changed his mind, and this is in his book, the one thing that changed his mind on it was that his daughters, they were having dinner one night, and his daughters actually had that conversation with him. I know that was a long drawn out story. However, point being, it is now in law. You can marry if you're whatever race you are, you can marry whatever other race you want to marry. And if you like boys, you like girls, you like non-binaries or whatever they call themselves these days, you can go ahead and do that too. So, that's I know, right? Jack, look, Jack, I'm by myself tonight, so me showing your guys' comments is going to be a little bit difficult because Mr. Hollywood is out there being Hollywood right now. Hollywood's out there being Hollywood, and yes, Clinton said, "I did no such thing." Anyways, uh, so yeah, that's how all that stuff went down. So Clarence Thomas, you know, he opened up a can of worms. So at the end of the day, Clarence Thomas opened up a can of worms. People acted on it, and now we're at where we're at today. So I'm very happy and glad that that was actually signed, and we took care of that. So I'm super ecstatic and super happy about that. And like I said, I get my tax write off if that's something that I choose to do, which I'm probably not. The probability is very low because we're not going to talk about marriage today. But anyways, so we talked about that. What else is going on in the news right now? The other huge thing that's going on in the news right now is our lovely friend, and I need you guys to comment on this. Uh, Mr. Mr. Kyrie. Hopefully, you guys can read this. But if you guys don't know what Kyrie did recently, basically, to be real simple about it, he's just an idiot. He's just an idiot. And it's so funny to me that the idiots right now that are saying a lot of the ridiculousness are basically African American males that they're actually putting out in the open and saying and saying what they're saying. So you guys are like, oh, how is he an idiot? What was he saying? Basically, he was saying about Jews. He was making some comments about Jews. So one, let's just be real, okay? Let's keep this 100%. You don't talk mess about the Jews because they will come for you. And that was probably a racist comment, but hey, they're gonna come for you. And two, don't say anything like that, especially if you're a multi-million dollar, you know, sports athlete and all that other good stuff. Like you just don't go there. You don't go there. And we all know he inhaled. Obama inhaled, so he inhaled. You know he did. So come on, let's be 100% here. But anyways, you just don't say stuff like that. And and this goes back to the race thing that we're gonna actually get into like super deep. If you guys don't know right now, your local school boards, especially for the viewers that are either watching right now or that are gonna watch later, your local school boards are voting, voting to ban books in their school district. And one of the books that they're voting on is Anne Frank. Really? Really? So for my people that are over 35 in the group, that are watching either tonight or later on, um, these are some of the things that they're voting on. These are some of the things that they're actually having conversations about. Like freaking from Dr. Seuss books to now we're getting to Anne Frank because we're trying to cover up what's going on or what already happened in America. So I guess that begs the question of have we gone too far in some of the things that we're doing right now in America? If you guys are, paying attention to some of the things that are going on, I'm gonna read a quote to you guys real quick. And hopefully, as you guys know, Brittany Griner, she was freed. She was freed. She was freed from Russia and all that good stuff, which we're going to get into here in a second. But here is something that our former president basically said about it, and we're going to get deeper on this one. And please, if you want to join, let me know if you want to join the chat since Mr. Hollywood isn't going to be with us anytime soon. Or if you have comments, please make sure you leave those comments in the chat, and I'll definitely make sure that I get that stuff up. He basically said, "What kind of deal is the swap for BG? A basketball player who openly hates our country. We're going to address that in a second. For a man who's known as the Merchant of Death. We'll address that in a second. Who was one of the biggest arms dealers anywhere in the world and responsible for tens and thousands of deaths and horrific injuries. Why isn't former Marine Paul Wyan included in this total one sided transaction? He would have been let out for asking. What a stupid, unpatriotic embarrassment to the U.S." Okay. So I can take this in a lot of different ways, right? I can take this as, and let's be real, I'll be 1,000%. Before I got my information on, Paul and the swap situation and all that stuff, I was a little bit upset, like, well, why we didn't get them both, right? But then I did my research. Instead of just speaking, I got my research. And yes, B is on tonight. And thank you for you being on tonight too. So before you say stuff, like, you got to get your research right. So I got my research right, and there's this guy. He's on. I know I'm not supposed to be talking about anybody else's podcasts on my podcast, but there's this guy, and I will leave. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I will leave his information in the description when I go back and edit it later, or I'll actually just leave it in the chat real quick, and you guys can check him out. But this guy right here, he has a podcast, and it drops on Mondays, a bunch of different things, and it's called What's Right. And on his show, he addresses the racism that's behind what's going on with why so many people are pissed off from a white person's perspective, though, too, mind you, why so many people are pissed off about BG being able to come home. But the crazy part about it, and this is the crazy part, right? To me, it's the crazy part. Paul's family basically came out and said, we would have took that too. Okay. So for my people that don't know exactly the ins and outs about what happened with the prisoner exchange, basically what happened was Russia basically said it's either one or none. Yeah, they wanted the arms dealer dude, and like I said, I was very adamant. I've said it on here like 50 million times. I don't want this dude traded for her. Like I get it, and I think someone asked me like, "Well, what if that was your kid?" And I think I said the exact same thing, like I wouldn't do it. Okay, but we're here now. Okay, it went down. It happened. We traded this crazy, Russian dude that is basically probably plotting to, in my conspiracy theory self, thinks that he's plotting to help Russia go defeat Ukraine right now. But that's just my conspiracy theory self. But hey, but anyways, moving on. So I didn't like the swap. I did not like the swap. I was a little bit upset about the swap until I started getting my research, right? So once I got my research and I figured out like, hey, Russia basically said you either get this, we either swap this or we get nothing. Now again, I'm very adamant about if you're an American citizen, we need to take care of our American citizens, not to the extreme that some people think and some people say, because but we need to get our people home and we need to get our people back. Period. Point blank. Period. Point blank. Um, But like I was saying, Paul's family basically came out and said, they appreciate the fact that we got her back. Period, point blank. They appreciated the fact that we got her back, and they're supporting what Biden had said. They're supporting his decision and all of that stuff. Now, when you take a look at what others, white people, are basically saying, they're basically pissed off because, in their minds, without getting all of the information, in their minds, we left behind a Marine. Problem is, we didn't leave behind a Marine. The Marine was never on our chart. Never. Was never on our chart. Was never a part of the negotiations. Putin or his people or whoever had basically already said, this is not on the deal. This is not a deal. That we are basically going to either trade Paul, or we're not even going to trade Paul, excuse me. We're not going to trade Paul. Period, point blank. You either get Brittany and we get this arms dealer dude back, or you get nothing. So how can anybody be pissed off, especially if Paul's family comes out in support and says, I support the decision? How can you get upset about that? How can you get upset? Like, I don't understand how you can get upset about that. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. And then I take a look at it. So all the stuff that I've been seeing online is, oh, we're trading an unpatriotic lesbian, because I like to say that, lesbian black person, because she's black person, for a quote, and we're not getting back our quote unquote Marine. Now, mind you, and I'm not bashing him right now. I am not bashing him right now. And this is information that I didn't know until I started doing research about him. Bro was dishonorably discharged from the military for stealing social security numbers and selling them. Basically accused of being a spy. America has basically almost kind of low key kind of said he is a spy. Russia believes he's a spy. He was in Russia on a supposed wedding, and we still ain't got him back. But what all the putting is, they keep arguing the fact that they're like, how come we didn't get him? How come didn't get him? And they're blaming Biden for doing that, right? This is the problem, because he's been there for more than like what, 4 or 6 years. Okay, so our previous president, Trump, had the opportunity to get him back. When was the first time anybody on this platform even knew who he was? Because I didn't until BG was over there. I didn't know who he was. Okay. Obama had the opportunity to get him back, because I think it was in the last stint of Obama's time, had the opportunity to get him back. So if Obama couldn't do it, Trump couldn't do it, what makes you think in your right mind that Putin was finna do it? What makes you think in your right mind that this wasn't just a political stint for Russia? Because if you look at, she had, she had freaking vape, dude. Like, she had vape, right? Did she do it? Yes, she had it. She did it. She pleaded guilty. All that good stuff, right? Okay, got it. All on the same page. However, if you look at the people that are Russian, and they're currently in Russia, and they get caught with the exact same thing, are they getting the same exact 10 years for this? No. So can we please all agree this was a political stunt? Can we all agree that this was just something to try to mess with America? And can we all agree that this is just an end game? You know what I'm saying? And I think somebody said it best, and it was either on Twitter or Facebook, or it was somewhere where I read. And I have to agree. Putin over there playing chess while we over here playing checkers, because we just gave up this dude for Brittany. Now, I'm not saying that we don't want Brittany back, because I'd rather take somebody who's a decorated Olympian, I'd rather take somebody who's a decorated Olympian, somebody who speaks out, someone who helps with the community. Like the lady gives free shoes, like free shoes, like goes buy shoes for like kid, like underprivileged kids and all that other good stuff. Like I'd rather do that all day, every day, than like come on, man. And it's all about. Thank you, Jag. I think BG was, or it probably was. It probably was, and I would have to agree with you 1,000%. So it goes back to racism, and it goes back to, are we going too far with it? And the reason why I called that this show that is, if anyone has recently looked at uh what is it? There's a post, and I'm gonna show it. The Daily Show. If you guys go on my my Instagram, I love Trevor. I love Trevor. Too bad he's not on the Daily Show anymore. I love Trevor. But I'm gonna show a clip, and actually Joy Reid um actually posted a clip, but it is from the Daily Show and it is from Trevor. I just want you guys to marinate on this real quick, and then we're actually gonna get into a conversation about it. And I know it's probably gonna be a little bit longer than what I would, normally play, but I really want you guys to check this out, and hopefully you guys can hear my volume tonight. Because if you can't, because that would really, really suck. Wait, can y'all hear that? Can somebody tell me if y'all can hear that? Y'all can't hear? See, that's why I need y'all to donate to the show so I can get some better equipment if y'all can't hear me. Can you guys hear me or no? Could you guys hear any of that? No? I need somebody to post. Dang it. All right. So basically, let me remove that. Well, forget that then. Basically, if you guys can, and I'll post this in the description also. I'm posting a whole bunch of stuff in the description. You guys got to go check out this reel from Trevor, right? It's basically a side by side. It's basically a side by side, and it's basically showing the guy that was on the screen, which I'll show him real quick. The guy that's on the screen, this dude right here, he's like one of the heads of the white supremacist movement right now. And every time when he comes on TV or he says something or he talks about something, um, and it's towards race, Tucker is saying the same thing towards race, and he's like splitting it. Okay, so you guys got to go check out the clip. You just got to check out the clip. It'll trip you guys out. So that's one of the reasons why I actually want to do the show and talk about race in America, and have we gone too far? Are we as individuals, whether you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Asian, whatever it may be, are you undercover racist? Are you? Let's think about it. So, and I'll give an example. Like the other day, I was on a field trip, and I'm hearing all these little kids, and little Hispanic kids and little white kids, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, my in," and I signed the contract, so I couldn't say nothing to these little kids, right? Because you got to sign the parent volunteer contract, and they do your background check and like all that good stuff. Yeah, my background good. They do all that good stuff, and I'm just sitting there just thinking like, yo, these little kids, like, why do they think this is okay? So have we conditioned them to think this is okay? Or is this now okay? Is this like now the thing that this next generation thinks that it's okay whether you're white, these were Hispanic kids though, calling other Hispanic kids A my N, and they're saying it in front of other, racist kids. Or for an example, the whole BG thing. People are getting upset. Are you getting upset because it was a black woman that was freed? Excuse me, that was freed, and not a white man? Or are you getting upset because what? Again, like I said, you guys got to go. You have to go check out your local school boards because that's where it's starting. Because no one pays attention there. No one pays attention there. But I'm telling you guys to start paying attention there. I know, Jag. I am so sorry. I, that's why I said y'all got to donate like $2 to the show so I can get some better equipment. So I can get some better equipment. Donate $2 to the show. Y'all see the Cash App underneath. And if you don't want to donate the $2 to the show, I could sell you a hat, a T-shirt for $30, and then you can donate that way. Either way it goes. But anyways, um, so are we all undercover racists and we just don't know it? So do you have preconceived notions about other races? And if you do have preconceived notions about other races, what are those preconceived notions? What are they? I don't know what they are. I can't answer that for you. I can answer it for me. Um, for me personally, I already know I'm low key racist. I'm racist against everybody. I'm racist against black. I'm racist against my own race. I'm racist against black people. I'm racist. Well, I don't know if it's the word racist. I think that's going a little too far. But I have my own thoughts about, black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people. But I don't look at it as like it's a bad thing only because I love everybody. Like I legit love everybody. But there's just those little quirms that I know damn well. Like I just had to have a conversation with my son the other night. I know damn well I have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. So do I not like that? Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that my great is somebody else's mediocre and their mediocre is my great, right? Jack says that she thinks that we all have preconceived ideas about other races or ethnicities. I agree with you 1,000%. And I think that, but I think nowadays, I think that our generation, when I say our generation, I'm talking about the over 35s. I think that we're a little bit more I don't want to use the word cautious because that's not the right word. We're a little bit more far off than this younger generation. I think this younger generation has this like I heard white kids saying, "Yo, my in" too. I've heard white kids, on the football field at practice, saying that too. And I'm looking, or I've heard, kids, and they don't take it like personal. They don't take it personal because they look at it like, whatever. But in my opinion, if you don't know what happened in the past, then there's no way that you can address your present, and there's damn sure no way you can address your future. Again, like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Uh, especially if you have kids, pay attention to what's going on in your local school board because that's where it's starting. Even in my area, like 2 weekends ago or a week ago, I think it was last week. Uh, I had the Oath Keepers and the Brotherhood out here in Redlands at the local school board. So it's getting close to home. They're right here in Beaumont. You know what I'm saying? It's getting close to home. Um, yeah, and they do, Jag. It's I think it's all of the races right now. I think it's just all over. And when I'm talking about, because the new KKK, right? Let's talk about it, and hopefully they don't try to come kill me tomorrow. The new KKK. This is what they look like. They ain't got no mask on. They chilling. They chilling, walking down the street. They chilling. And that was the this one right here is the Oath, the Brothers of Oath. These ones right here, this is the actual KKK right here. This is what they look like. They ain't got no hoods on. Ain't no hoods. Ain't no hoods. They ain't got no hoods. They chilling. These guys right here, these are the Proud Boys. And look at that though, right? If you don't know who the Proud Boys are, go ahead and I'm just gonna have to say go ahead and Google that. But these are the Proud Boys. These are not people who you would automatically sit there and think are because I was just about to say that, Jag. They're bold with it right now. They're super bold with it right now. It's like there's a free pass out there right now to say and to do whatever you want to do and not be one respectful towards other people because I appreciate everybody's opinion. Everybody's opinion. I even appreciate the opinion, and I know this is going to be very controversial, but I even appreciate the opinions of people who are in the Proud Boys, who are a part of the Oath Keepers, who are a part of the white nationalists. Because guess what? I need to know what y'all thinking. I want to hear what you got to say because I need to know your plan. I need to know your plan, and I need to know what you're thinking. So if you think that, all Hispanics are rapists, or if you think, all black people ain't nothing but drug dealers, if that's what you think, then that's what I need to know what you think because that's what I need to know that I need to stay away from. And that's not what I need to do personally. I need to know what you think. I need to know that you hate the fact that I do what I do. I need to know everything that you're talking about because I need to know what you're thinking. Yeah, you might be spewing, a whole bunch of that hate and a whole bunch of that racism and all that good stuff, but I need to know. I need to hear what you got to say. I just got to hear it. And I'm not afraid of it. I'll have that conversation. But like I said, the thing, and I agree with you, Jack. Again, the thing that people don't really understand is, and I'm just gonna show her comment again. They're bold with it. They're bold with it. If you sit back and you pay attention and you listen to what uh whether it be your friends, your coworkers, what they're saying around family members, what they're saying around you, and just some of the ridiculousness that they say. Like I had, like I said, I just had to have a conversation with my son about being satisfactory and because in his mind satisfactory is great, about being satisfactory, but me having to explain to him, yo, you're a young black man, and the black man, Mr. Hollywood, still talking about he was finna be on in 15 minutes. His 15 minutes is over with. Show's almost done in another 20 minutes, so I don't even know if he gonna even decide to show up tonight because he playing Mr. Hollywood tonight. But anyways, we ain't gonna talk about him. um about how being satisfactory isn't good enough, especially if you're a young black man. You don't have the same opportunities and the same pathways that these young Hispanic men have, which is very weird because at the end of the day, they're both brown, but they don't have the same opportunities. Or even, me as a black woman, crazy enough, you would think crazy enough, black women and Hispanic women, who do you think makes more money on the dollar? Hispanic women, not the African American woman. They don't even make the same. It's not even the same. Not it's not even the same. We're on the lower part of the pole, whatever you want to call it. The black man does make more than the African American woman, so it's really crazy. That part is crazy too, because the African American woman, um, overall, is higher educated, has more like college degrees and more education, like when we're talking about stuff like that, than the black man does. But the black man makes more than the African American woman. So at the end of the day, is it great to be an African American woman? I don't know, but I love it though. I love my black woman. I love me. Girl, I love me. I love me some me. I love me some ladies too, but I love me some me. So at the end of the day, like I'm saying, like it's just very strange to me where we're at today that people are super bold with the things that they say, the things that they do, their actions. I don't necessarily want to blame it on our former president because to me, it's like it was already there and it was already a can of worms just waiting to be open. And it was just something for me that was easy for him to come out and say because he was just an idiot and decided that he wanted to roll with that, you know? I think April Ryan, if you guys don't know who April Ryan is, she's a journalist with the White House press corps. And I think she said it best in her book. If you haven't checked out her book, please go check out her book. She said it best in her book, where she was talking about um, each presidency and just some of the things that she had to endure with each presidency. And for the first time, she was able to ask a question and get that question answered. For the first time, she was able to show up. And this is the press corps. This is the press corps, right? Like, prominent people, apparently. It was the first time where she was able to one ask the question and two just to be her. Like prior, she'd always, oh, my hair is this, like me having dreads, like that would be a no-no. Like you're going to the press corps with dreads. But if you look at the press secretary right now, she got her like curl, Haitian, Jamaican, whatever curl going down, because that's okay. That's okay. And that's one of the things that surprisingly in California, and I know I'm sidetracking, surprisingly in California, there was a bill passed as far as hair discrimination because people, especially with these kids, these babies, people were discriminating and telling these kids they either had to cut their hair or they were putting it in, again, listen to what I'm saying, they were putting it in their school uh, policies and their bylaws that like they couldn't have braids, they couldn't have dreads, it had to be a certain way. If you guys don't know nothing that I talk about today, just know it starts at home and then it starts in the schools. That's where it goes. It starts in the schools. Period. Point blank. Starts in the schools. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. Starts in the schools. Um, yes, Jack. He just gave them permission to be avert about it. And I think that permission, but I think that permission was already there. I think the permission was already there. I think that people were already having those conversations. I just think that, well, maybe you're right, because I think that now it just made it easier for them to actually have those conversations out loud, and be okay with having those conversations out loud. On the flip side of that, I don't think it made it any better that, especially with having the BLM movement. And for those of you guys that don't know, BLM is not like a necessarily like an organization or a movement or anything like it. It's kind of a movement because Black Lives Matter. To me, all lives matter at the end of the day. But black lives do matter because too many of our black sisters, especially our black sisters, are getting killed, and we're not even getting those reports on it. And the only reason why Breonna Taylor even got the headlines that she got is because people spoke up. The only reason why half of the stuff even gets attention nowadays is because it's the power of the internet. It's the power of Facebook. It's the power of Instagram. It's the power of Twitter. It's the power of Snapchat. And when you really, really get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's the power of the cell phone. The cell phone changed the game. The cell phone changed the game for everybody, right? Um, and just being able to catch it right then and there and post it. Like the if you're on Instagram or Twitter, like the couple months back, I think it was about 3-4 months back, there was a white lady on a subway and she's just yelling at everybody and then she starts just spilling out the N word. Or if we're talking about, the in New York, the lady with the dog that was yelling at the black man and basically telling the police on the phone, oh, this black man is trying to attack me, and he's like literally just standing there like, lady, what are we talking about? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we talking about? Um, so the power of the cell phone, being able to catch these things, being able to actually see these things, being able to understand and know these things because they're out there. They're out there 1,000%. It's just that people have permission for whatever reason they think they do to do those things. So the question is, what can you or I do about it to make sure that we're not teaching our kids that we're actually having those conversations. And I think that it starts with something simple like this, me actually coming on here and having the conversation and saying, hey, what do you guys think? Yeah, we're all a little racist and a little prejudiced and a little whatever it is. Um, in our core, even though we might sit up there and say, "Oh no, we're not. No, we're not." Yes, you are. Go take a look at yourself in the mirror. Yes, you are. I don't care who you are. You're a little racist. You're a little prejudiced. You're a little something. I don't care if it's you're prejudiced against someone who wears white shoes. I don't care if you're prejudiced or racist against whatever it is. It's just what you do with that information and how you treat other people. You know what I mean? Like, how do you treat other people? How do you treat other people? How do you treat other people? I think that that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Um, and I do applaud companies um, that are out there right now. And if you don't know, like one of the company I work for on my real job, we actually are out there, in the community, trying to help people, trying to raise diversity and inclusion issues. I think that one, like I said, it starts at home. It starts at home first, of us teaching our children, because our children, they don't learn. They're not born little racists. They're not born with their prejudices. They're not born with stuff like that. So that's not even a thing or an issue. Once they get around their little friends, of course, that's when they learn a lot of it. So, like I said, it starts at home. Then after that, it starts in the schools, right? And I've already said it. I've said it like 5 times during the show. You have to see what's going on in your local school board. Like, you got to see what's going on in your local school board. You got to see. I'm telling you guys right now, they're out there banning books. They're out there banning books. Books that I read, books that you read as a child and helped shape whatever, thought processes that you have today. They're out there making these different ordinances and laws with your local school board and your local your mayor and stuff like that. Like, you got to get out there. You got to see that stuff first because that's where it's going to get homegrown first, right? And then after that, of course, you got to look at it as an at a national level, whether it be in your workplace, because your workplace is second. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, you spend the majority of your time with the people who you work with. Well, how do they talk? How do they treat you? What are they talking about? Unless you're one of those in the cubicle over there in the corner that doesn't necessarily talk to anybody, you know? So you got to take a look at that stuff. You got to take a look at your friends and your family, your friends. What are some of the things that your friends, talk about? How do your friends treat other people? Because at the end of the day, who you hang around with and who's influencing you, because your friends influence you. I don't care what you got to say. Your friends do influence you. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to take a look at, who are your friends? Who are the people that you're around? What about your family? What is your family teaching you? What is your family talking about? What are those conversations that you're having at the end of the day with your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle over some tea, over some toast? What are you what are you guys talking about, right? What are those conversations that you're having? What are those conversations that you're not having? What's that underlying conversation that you're not having? Especially with the holidays coming up. I know everybody's going to be hanging out with their friends and family. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to the conversations that people are having. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: if you don't think this guy right here, hold on, un momento, if you don't think that this guy right here is not having all the influence um, on what's going on in the world right now, what are the conversations that are going on in the world right now, this guy right here, if you don't think that he doesn't have all the influence right now, you guys better recognize, you better understand, that's the man. He's one of the heads in the the KKK right now. Does he look like he is? No. They don't wear their hoods anymore. Well, they do, but they're not wearing their hoods. They're not wearing their masks. They're out in the open just basically spilling all of their hate and saying that black people are this, Hispanic people are this, Asian people are this. This is what's going on in the world. Why are we helping this? How come we don't make this? He doesn't need a hood. He don't need no mask. He don't need nothing. He has Fox News for that. And that was a shot at Fox News. Hopefully they don't come sue me, cause I ain't got nothing anyway. So they ain't nothing they finna get. Um. So yeah, you guys gotta have those conversations and continue to have those conversations and continue to keep talking, whether it is to your friends or your family, and be open. Like don't be afraid to have conversations about race, racism. Like, don't be afraid to have those conversations. Don't. Don't make it to where people are uncomfortable to have those conversations because that's the problem. The problem is we don't talk about it in a civilized manner. We don't address it in a civilized manner. We just try to brush it under the rug and we don't want to have those conversations, right? Again, it's how you treat people. It's the conversations that you have with people. So I know some of you guys, well, racists probably treat people very great. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because when you have that much hate in your heart, eventually it's going to come out. When you have that much loathe and hate and just ugliness, it's going to come out and it's going to spew. And those are the type of people, their energy, who they are, that you don't want to be around. Um, Exactly, Jag. You have to have those hard conversations. You have to have those hard conversations, whether it be with your family, whether it be with your friends. You cannot continue, especially where we're at right now, where I think everybody has basically already said that it's easier for people to spew whatever it is that they're saying now than it was 10 years ago, than it was 5 years ago, than it was, 15 years ago. It's easier for them to spill everything that they're saying now. All right, so let's have that conversation. Let's talk about it. You think all black people are drug dealers, and that's just the easy one that I'm using right now. Um, I ain't done no drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't touch drugs. So how are all black people drug dealers? Or you think that, oh, all black people, and I'm using black people right now for a second, or you think that, oh, all black people are lazy and they don't have, good jobs or careers. Okay, so why do you think that? Who do you know that doesn't have one? Who do you know that does have one? Oh, I think that all Hispanics are M13 and they're all rapists. Okay, so how many of them do you know personally? So all your neighbors, like all your neighbors are M13 and they're all rapists living in the same household? Okay, okay. All Asians know math and they're educated. Huh. So how many Asians do you know that know math and love math at the end of the day? I could keep going with all the races sentiments or all white people are very nice and they're very great. Huh. Well, if that was the case, how come there's so many racist white people out there? But they're all great and they're all nice. Hmm. Got it. Understood. We got to start having those difficult conversations. That's just my 3 cents, and y'all watching Family Politics. As y'all see the hat. Y'all see the hat? Y'all like that? Y'all see the hat? Y'all see the shirt? Representing tonight. Got the hat on. Anyways, we got 5 minutes left, y'all. And you know I gotta uh take us home, and take us out. So first, I just want to say thank you for everybody interacting with me tonight. Thank you for everybody that joined tonight. Apparently, Mr. Hollywood got way too Hollywood on us and decided that. Thank you, Jack. If you want one, throw me a Instagram. Let me know on Instagram. Let me know on Facebook. Shoot me a text. Shoot me whatever you want to shoot me. I got your back, girl. I got your back. I got those hats. I got those shirts. Let me know. Anyways, um, as I always talk about before we end this show, I want to just say one, like I was saying, thank you to the supporters, thank you to everybody that's watching the show. Thank you to my boy Jeremiah. Jeremiah last week, he went ahead and donated some money to the show. So please, if you can, I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $2, I don't care if it's 50 cents. Please donate to the show. It's on our Cash App at $ Riz 22 $, Riz 22, and that's me, Riz. Holla at your girl. So for all of my people out there that need a little help, that are thinking um, that they don't have enough people in their life, or they just need a hug or a conversation with somebody else, please reach out to the National Suicide Hotline. That's 988. It was an 800 number before, but now technology. Um, Now it's a simple text. That's 988. So if you need help and you're feeling like that it's too much and life is just too much for you, there's always help out there. So please make sure that you reach out to the National Suicide Hotline number. For those of us that need a little mental health, and I'll tell you right now, um, I haven't always been in the right state of mind to where I didn't need somebody to talk to, especially going through, a divorce, going through all that other good stuff. Just even prior to that, going through a lot of death and just loss in my life. Um, we all need somebody to talk to, right? So that's NAMI. That's 1-800-950-6264. That's NAMI. So please reach out to 1-800-950-6264. And if Mr. Hollywood was on right now, he'd say, for all my veterans out there, hoorah! I need you guys to reach out if you guys need some help, whether it be housing, whether it be food, whether it be whatever it is. It's the Veterans Crisis Hotline number. That's 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And just for me, like I said, support the show. Whether it's you donating to our Cash App, if you don't have Cash App, I can throw the Vimo. Well, I could do the Vimo, the Venmo. Is it Venmo or Vimo? I don't know. I could throw that link up there. If you want to purchase some gear, I'm starting to get more gear made, so I got some gear. Shout out to my gear lady. Ah, um, you can do that. Please represent. And at the end of the day, like I said, have those conversations with people. Stop not having those conversations. Have those conversations with people. I understand that they're tough. I understand that they're tough, but start having those conversations. Stop running from them. I mean, again, if you need help, reach out to the National Suicide number. If you also need help, reach out to NAMI. For my vets, reach out to the National Veterans Crisis Hotline. And to all my ladies out there, I love the ladies. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You guys will see a whole bunch more reels coming out from me. That's loyalty underscore unconditionally. That's loyalty underscore unconditionally. And again, I love the ladies. Have a good night, y'all. Appreciate you guys joining.